Welcome back, folks, to some more Deathgate. We're talking with this crazy fucking wizard, Zifnab, who's a Sartan.
Why are you talking to the children about racial harmony?
The races have never been closer to tolerating each other, especially the children. If I can impress upon them the importance of peace, they may achieve unification.
You've referred to the unification. What exactly is it?
The unification, that's the racial harmony I've been talking about. When all the races come together and are capable of living with each other, the worlds are key to open their resources to the Mensch, wake up the sleeping Sartan, and ready the realm for the interconnection. Each world set up its own test to determine when the unification occurred. When the Mensch figured out the way into the Citadel, when they worked together to enter it, they will have unified. This was supposed to happen in every realm. After all of them were ready, the Council was supposed to complete the sundering by interconnecting the realms. The new society would begin. But it's been so long. Far too long. Something went wrong.
What do you think went wrong with the plan?
We took on too much ourselves. We were gods, and we were infallible. I warned Sama that we should wait. There were alternatives, but he didn't listen. He was full of his dream.
What is this dragon?
He's my pet dragon. I met him shortly after I came to Prian. He took a liking to me, so I decided to adopt him. He told me that he embodies good in the wave. Doesn't make any sense to me. If he's supposed to be the personification of good, then he wouldn't be so lazy.
That dragon is the embodiment of good?
I know. Hard to believe, isn't it? Especially since he didn't just eat you up as soon as you arrived.
Are you implying that I'm evil?
Of course not. Are you inferring that you are evil? That may be important. We might be on the verge of a breakthrough. A few more sessions and we'll be able to make some serious progress on your complex.
What's the wave?
You know, it's when a portion of the audience lifts their arms, followed by another portion, then another, until it completes a full circle around the stadium. No, wait, that's different. The wave is a little harder to explain. Reality is balanced. Good and evil can never be more powerful than each other. When that happens, the wave compensates. The dragon was created a long time ago in response to something else. Something very evil.
Do you know what the evil thing was?
Is, my good man, is. Since my dragon here is still around, you must assume that his evil counterpart is still around as well. I have my theories as to its form, but it's such a depressing subject that I prefer not to talk about it.
Enough. Let's talk about something else.
All right. How about those Steelers? Think they'll go all the way?
Where are the other Sartan?
I don't know. Have you seen them? I figured they'd been hiding from me all this time. Some joke. I turn my back for a couple years, take a little moonlight stroll, and they all go away. Well, it's not funny!
Where do you think they could be hiding?
Well, I left them in the Citadel when I went for a walk. I assumed that they'd be along, but they never came. I haven't seen them since.
I found a group of them on Arianis. They were in crystal coffins.
Of course they were. The unification has yet to take place on Arianis. When it does, the coffins will open and the Sartan will come out to help the Mensch.
No, you don't understand. I did something there and the coffins opened. All of the Sartan were dead.
They're dead? All dead? How did it happen? How could it happen? You did this, patron, didn't you? Somehow your race has struck back and killed us. Admit it!
You're wrong, Zifnab. One of my missions is to find out where the Sartan disappeared to. If the Sartan are dying off, it's not of my doing.
Ah, of course. Your people were imprisoned when this happened. You couldn't have had anything to do with it. There's something else out there.
How long have you been here? Alone?
I'm not alone. I've got my dragon, I've got the children. I don't need more than that. But it seemed like a long time since I've seen any of my people. A long time.
Why are you here?
I don't know why I'm here exactly. Even though our policy is non-interference when it comes to the unification, I felt I had to help it along. It's been so long and the Mensch have never been so close as they are now.
Let's talk about something else. You're obviously uncomfortable with this subject.
Suit yourself.
Where is Priam's seal piece?
Ah, the seal piece. Your lord needs it, huh? You know, there are better uses for it than what he intends.
What do you know about my lord?
Oh, nothing. I'm sure he's a wonderful fella. Life of the party kind of guy. Am I right? I'll bet he could show me a card trick or two.
How do you know what my lord intends?
What do patron lords usually intend after they've escaped from thousands of years of imprisonment? You think maybe he wants to conquer the realms, reform the world to enslave the masses? No, nobody's that antisocial.
Don't try and throw me off track. Where is it?
All right, don't get in a huff. Where did we put that piece? Didn't we build something to put it in? Oh, that's right. It's in the Citadel.
How do I get in?
That's a toughie. No one can get in. In fact, it was designed to keep everyone out. I certainly don't think any exceptions were made for angry patrons. Of course, after the unification, anyone could just walk right through the front door.
Isn't there any other way to get in the Citadel?
Well, let's see. A spell might help you out. Maybe if you blew down a wall or something. There's one spell I remember. What was it? Tie a wall, lie a stall? I can't seem to recall. Oh well, sorry I couldn't help.
Didn't you come from there? How'd you get out?
Getting out is not the same thing as getting in. In fact, they're two entirely different things. Yin and yang, night and day, black hat and white hat.
With that, Zifnab removes his hat, squints at it, and pounds on it until it looks worse than ever. Satisfied, he replaces it on his head and smiles.
You mean I'll have to make all of the races get along before I can get that door open?
Well, it's not quite that difficult. We set up a test to detect when the races started to get along. We gave each a symbol. A golden sword to the humans, a golden staff to the elves, and a golden hammer to the dwarves. If a representative from each race places their symbol upon the door to the Citadel at the same time, it will open. The three races must do it together. One man with all the symbols wouldn't be able to open the door.
Where are all of those symbols?
They certainly didn't take quite the care of them that we hoped they would. Only the humans still revere their symbol, but they look on it as a symbol of leadership instead of its actual meaning, the humans' role in a new integrated society. Every human leader carries it. It gives them the authority to rule. I believe the current holder is the young princess who occasionally comes to my gatherings. The elves threw their staff into a local pit called the Maw. It's been lost for generations. I don't know how the unification can occur until it is recovered. The dwarves, straight-lined practical thinkers that they are, took one look at the hammer, decided that it was the most inferior hammer they'd ever seen, and stuck it deep in their weapons vault. I don't think they even remember that they have it.
Tell me more about the Citadel itself.
All right.
Where is the Citadel?
Oh, it's that way, I think. You should be able to see it from the air in your flying ship. It's really big. Had to be, you know.
How about we talk about something else?
Suit yourself.
I have had enough. Goodbye, Sartan.
Well, I can't say I'm sorry to see you go, Haplo. But take care. You have many trials ahead of you. The fate of the world rests on your shoulders. You're welcome to take that disc. I can always get my dragon to ferry me back and forth, but unless I miss my guess, you don't have a pet dragon. Without the disc, you're going to have to find another way back to the other tree.
That's why I'm taking it. From this vantage over the deep chasm, you see the tree you started from. Wrap the clothesline around the branch and tie it in a knot. After pulling on it a few times, you're satisfied that it's secure. All kinds of pretty flowers. Some blue flowers. And we'll take some yellow flowers. Grab the clothesline and swing over the chasm to the clearing in the far tree. When you get there, you tuck the end into the crack. This is a clear, flat area nestled amidst the branches of the giant tree. You see another tree over a narrow but deep drop. You heave the disc into the bottomless maw. In seconds, it plunges out of sight. What'd you do that? Because we're going to cast a spell on the transportation disc. So hopefully put us in the maw. You weave a spell in the air and BAM! Whoa, shit. You stand on a root ledge, right on the edge of a massive web. In the center, a gigantic spider sits patiently. You shove the remains of an ancient traveler to one side. Underneath, you discover a patch of toadstools and a glowing arrow. Alright, alright. Well, let's take both of those. Well, let's see. Nasty insect, yellow flowers. You crush the yellow flowers in your hand. Somehow the action releases an incredibly foul odor, stronger than anything you've ever encountered. Fuck it. With a grunt effort, you heave the jar of marmalade at the spider. It strikes dead center and smashes open. The marmalade splashes all over its disgusting body. You can smell the sickly sweet aroma from here. A few insects fly over to inspect the sweet spot on the spider. They hover over and generally annoy him. Aha, you have marmalade all over you, dickhead. As soon as you touch the hot ember to the massive high in the tree, it bursts into flame. In surprise, you jerk your hand back and drop the shell containing the ember into the web below. The air erupts with nasty, stinging bugs that have made the hive their home. Some of the insects make tentative passes at you, but veer away when they get within range of their foul odor, wafting from the yellow petals you hold. Instead, they swarm around the sweet aroma of the marmalade-smeared spider. The center of the web turns into a flurry of action. The stinging insects whirl about the spider as it thrashes in agony. Soon, the one-sided battle dies down. The spider slumps onto the web in death, and the insects disperse. Ha-ha. Haplo is victorious, asshole spider. The web bulges in places where the spider has imprisoned its visitors. You can make out some large animals and a few human or elven figures inside the translucent web pools. Inside one of the pods, you see the silhouette of a staff. So we gotta cut them out. You scramble over the web until you reach the pod. There you whip out the garden shear and start to hack away at the thick, sticky strands. After a few minutes, you expose the desiccated figure within. The smell of the imperfectly preserved body almost makes you ill. After quickly searching the remains and coming up empty, you return to the ledge. Yeah, that looks like a staff up there. trying to use the fucking shear, you retard. You scramble over to the web until you get to the pod. There you whip out the garden shear and start to saw away at the thick, sticky strands. After a few minutes, the golden staff, as well as the Grizzly X owner, are completely revealed. You grab the staff and make your way back to the relative safety of the ledge. Alright, we got the golden staff. I don't really see anything else down here. Let's go ahead and cast transportation back on the disc here. You weave the spell in the air. Eventually the light fades, but what reappears isn't at all like what was there before. Your surroundings are completely different. Alright, let's go ahead and give the staff to the elf prince.
Thank you! Oh, thank you! How did you manage to get it? Never mind. I know that you're a wizard, but you've done something that my people have tried to do for generations. First you save my life, then you regain the golden staff. If there is anything I can do for you, just tell me. Now that I have the golden staff, she'll have to take me seriously as a fellow monarch. But even if I gain her respect with the staff, she still probably won't like me very much unless I can give her something nice, something as pretty as she is. Then, once she's feeling kindly towards me, I need something to keep me from stumbling all over my words. I can never figure out anything to say. Thank you, sir. I have the golden staff, so she'll have to take me seriously as a fellow monarch. These flowers are perfect to make her look kindly upon me, but I still need the right words to say.
I happen to have a book of poetry. Try that out for size. You give the final item to the prince and offer a quick word of encouragement. He breathes deeply to bolster his courage and strides toward the princess, holding the staff out before him like a shield. The prince nervously sidles up to the princess. Her eyes open wide when she sees the object he holds, and she excitedly asks about it. He stammers an explanation, and she nods throughout, but it is obvious that he is losing her attention. He thrusts a bunch of blue flowers toward her. She gasps in astonishment, but smiles and accepts them. For the first time, you notice she has a twinkle in her eye while looking at the prince. You sense that she is beginning to see the prince as something other than merely an elf or a prince, and more than a friend. She says nothing, however, and the silence begins to expand. The prince pulls out his book of poems and flips through it. He reads at random from a poem which he speaks of a man's love for his favorite steed. When he realizes the poem's subject matter, he immediately stops and moves on to another. Instead of being insulted, the princess giggles and softly at the boyish attempts to enchant her. Soon he has found a heart-rending poem that actually brings tears to the eyes of the princess. At the end of the reading, she throws her arms around the prince and kisses him. He drops the book and returns the kiss. After a few minutes, they begin to oh wait, never mind, that's a different story. That's the rated R version.
It worked! All of it! She has agreed to consider my courtship, and I owe it all to you, my friend, more than I can ever repay. But I will try. I know that you have a quest here, but I know not what it is. I will accompany and help you as I can, and perhaps I can give you some fraction of the happiness you have given me.
Oh, we got the elf prince on our side. Now we need to get the human princess to follow us.
Greetings. My prince explained that you are a friend of his and that you helped bring us together. For that, I am indebted to you.
Good deal.
Tell me a little about your people.
I thought you were human, but I guess you're not. Otherwise, my people would be your people. We're nomadic. We live all over Prion following the game we hunt. It might appear to the other races that we're rather loosely organized, but that's not true. My father leads us wisely with the counsel of the people. We have thrived for generations. Our lives are hard, though, and sometimes dangerous. The appeal of the elves' safe and stable society affects many of us. For some, it's too much to resist. They come to the elves as refugees and beg for whatever work is available. I think my people want to settle down. They follow my father out of loyalty, but they're ready to change the way they live. Even I wouldn't mind some stability.
That's a nice flute you've got there.
Thank you. It was given to me by my warder. He's the one who trained me to hunt and track, but he also taught me to play this flute. He is one of the only people I know who still remembers how to play the old written music. There isn't much of it left, but he collected some of the ancient sheets and kept them safe. I was honored to learn the skill from him.
Would you mind doing me a favor?
A favor? Certainly. What is it?
I was wondering if you'd accompany me somewhere. I need you to use your golden sword for a task.
Of course I'll help you. I can't imagine what task would require my golden sword. It's not much of a weapon, it's a symbol of leadership. But I'll be happy to accompany you.
Alright. We're forming a party. Pretty fucking cool, if I do say so myself. It's time to return to our dragon ship. And fly back to the Citadel. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. One of the nuts pulls away from the stalk rather easily, leaving behind a hole in the shell where the stalk was attached. Check out my nuts. You stuffed the nut full of foul-smelling flowers. Oh, here you go, little monkey. You toss the nut up to the animal perched on the branch. A lightning-quick claw snatches the nut from the air. The animal tucks it close to its furry body, inserts two pointy talons into the hole in the shell, and exerts pressure. With a crack, the nut breaks open. The yellow petals stuffed neatly in the nut fly everywhere. One whiff of this shit makes the animal's nose wrinkle up. Evidently, this isn't how its favorite food is supposed to smell. It hurls the nut back at you, and when it lands, the meat of the nut falls right out at your feet. Ooh, nut meat. That sounds gross. Nut meat. I got me some nut meat. You stand at the edge of a thick forest, and an old hollow tree stump sticks out of the ground.
This is incredible! It's music from the ancients! What an amazing find! Would you like me to play it?
Yes, start playing it now if you would.
Very well. Just tell me when to stop.
Alright, we have the princess playing magical music. The forest is unnaturally still. There are no sounds of birds, animals. There is no wind. A young dwarf girl is tied to a tree with vines here. She looks like she's about to get fucking killed by two giant tree-looking guys. It's not a good day for her. You slip next to the struggling dwarf and pull out your garden shear. +5. The princess's melody appears to be keeping the giants at bay. While you saw through the dwarf's bindings, the vines fall away just as the princess coughs and stops playing the flute. The forest erupts with towering brutes, all racing towards you with murder in their eyeless faces. You grab the dwarf's hand and sprint off south. The crowded forest falls away, and when your party finally has reached the clearing, you notice that the giants have stopped following you. The dwarf girl gasps for breath. Her legs were obviously made for negotiating much shorter distances. After she recovers, she looks up at you. Naturally, you expect the small creature to overwhelm you with gratitude. Small? She don't look that small to me. Bet you've been eating too much dwarf McDonald's.
Why did you rescue me?
'Cause I'm awesome.
Because you were in trouble. Everyone should help out those in need.
Wow, you really helped me just because I needed help? That's so nice.
She
I don't
wipes a
believe
tear.
it.
Snaking down her sideburns.
It's a custom among my people to give a favor in return for one, especially one as significant as saving a life. All you have to do is ask.
That's fine, but could I talk with you a while before I ask for anything?
Of course. What do you want to talk about?
How did you get captured?
I wandered into the forest of giants when I shouldn't have. I just wanted to see them. Everyone told me that they were actually bigger than humans. I didn't believe it until they jumped out of the trees and grabbed me. The giants don't bother anyone unless you go into their forest. They're pretty touchy about that. I'm just lucky they tied me up instead of stepping on me.
Tell me what you know about these giants.
Many generations ago, my ancestors dug their tunnels here. When they emerged from the ground to have a look around, they encountered the giants. They weren't friendly and definitely not especially happy to meet us. Mayhem broke out. The dwarves weren't used to war, but they were quick studies. They forged weapons and battled the giants for years. One day, the giants suddenly stopped fighting. They drew back into the forest and remained there. As long as we stayed out, they left us alone. We keep the store of weapons in a vault, though, ready just in case the giants change their minds and attack. We also have an interesting legend about the giants.
Tell me the legend of these giants.
According to legend, the giants are the children of the Shining City. They lived inside it and were very happy, but they always wondered what lay outside of the city's walls. One day they snuck out. The city discovered them missing. It was furious that its children had left it, so as punishment it took away their eyes and closed its doors, leaving them outside. The Shining City became dark in its sorrow. The giants moved into the forest nearby. They hoped that one day the city would reopen its doors and let them in. The only memory of their time inside was a gem that one of them had brought with them. They cherished that memory and guarded it jealously. One day the city's heart grew lonely. It decided to forgive its errant children and invite them to return, so it began to shine again. If the giants had seen it, they would have rushed home. But the city had taken their eyes and they couldn't see the beckoning light. So they remained inside the forest, waiting for a call that came long ago. And the city waits for its children who will never return. We dwarves believe that if only we could lead the giants back to the city, they would go in and leave the forest to us. We know that they are guarding the gem at the center of the forest. A few brave dwarves have entered the forest in hopes of stealing the gem and bringing it to the Shining City. The giants would follow the gem, and when they came upon the city, it would open its doors to them and they would go back home.
What do you know about the gem?
Supposedly, it's huge and crystal and has strange writings on it. Actually, it's not supposed to be all that valuable. Crystal's not worth much. You'd figure that something they guarded so fiercely would be worth more.
Has anyone ever been able to take the gem?
A long time ago, a dwarf named Lungput the Swift ventured into the forest. Somehow he made it to the center, into a clearing, and there, lying on the ground, he discovered the gem. He grabbed it and bolted for the city. Well, the giants followed him all right, but they caught him before he got anywhere near the city. He tried hiding behind trees and rocks anywhere out of sight, but the giants homed in on him as if he were a beacon. They took back their gem and squished poor Lungput. Since then, no one's ever come back out of the forest once they went in.
How far did you make it inside? Did you actually see the gem?
No, I never got anywhere near it. I didn't even mean to go as far as I did. One step inside the forest was enough for these big bullies. They grabbed me and tied me up. Didn't even say a word.
Do they normally squash intruders?
That's what the elders say, and no one's ever said differently. I thought maybe they were exaggerating just to keep us out of the forest, but maybe not. At least they only tied me up.
Are you sure you didn't get stepped on? You're pretty short.
One of these days, gravity is going to realize that people shouldn't have legs that long. Then you'll be sorry.
Enough about these giants.
All right? What else do you want to know?
Can you tell me anything about that building to the south?
Sure. It's the Great Shining City. No one ever enters and no one ever leaves. The front doors are closed and nothing can open them. We've even tried tunneling in. We just bounced off the floor. It's made of something we've never encountered before.
Do you know anything about a golden hammer?
A golden hammer. I'm not sure. Wait, I think there's a golden hammer in the weapons vault. A few years ago, there was a false alarm. We thought that the Titans were attacking, so the elders ordered that the vault be opened. Everyone took up weapons and headed towards the forest. At that point, we realized we had been tricked. Some child got his rear tanned, and everyone went to I was one of the first in the vault, and I noticed a golden hammer shoved way in the back. No one had taken it. I looked at it to find out why. The weight was all wrong, and I determined that it was actually forged of gold. Can you believe it? A soft metal like gold? One strong blow and the thing would flatten. I don't understand why anyone ever made such a useless weapon.
Do you think you could get it for me? That could be my favor.
I don't think so. The only time the vault is open is in response to an attack by the giants. They never make exceptions. In fact, ever since the false alarm, they are more careful than ever to verify that the attack is genuine. They don't want dwarves harming themselves or others, either by accident or deliberately, by using these weapons. Some of them are very dangerous.
Is there any other way into the vault?
Absolutely not. Dwarves are masters at tunneling. We made the vault impossible to tunnel into by lining it with fire-hardened metals. There's no way in unless it is opened.
Maybe the hammer wasn't meant to be used as a weapon.
Why would someone forge a hammer unless it was meant to be used? That doesn't make any sense.
Could you go ask the elders if they'd make an exception? No one seems to want the hammer anyway.
I could ask, but I already know the answer. Nothing is going to open that vault except an attack from the giants, and I really hope that doesn't happen in my lifetime. I'll go, though. Wait here. I'll be back soon.
The dwarf girl grabs the branch sticking out of the dead tree trunk and pulls in an intricate motion, which you take the time to memorize. In response, a hidden door pops open. She ducks inside and scuttles downward into the tunnel. And we shall continue in the next video.